Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Okay, things are working. And we are alive. Okay? We're live. Cool. Back to the live. May have made a mistake today doing it on the balcony. It is hot, so may experience some tech issues. It's okay. Right? Right? Cool. It is very loud. I wonder if this helps. I wonder if this helps. That is actually much better. Okay, we're gonna get into it before things start overheating, and I can see the reflection of the screen. I have to use the torch. Things are gonna get very hot very soon, so we're gonna get through this. All right, we're gonna get through this. Cool. Welcome to the live. We're going to talk about the AI job apocalypse solution, right? Competitive content creation. That's the stuff. That's the sauce. That's the secret. Competitive content creation. What the hell does that mean? Okay? What does that even mean? Well, what is this AI job apocalypse? And why should you care? All right? I'm going to try and avoid looking at the camera or the flash because it's a little bit blinding. Perhaps some shades would have been better. But here we go. AI is here. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes it's awesome. But it's here. And there is this looming fear of it just getting better and better and better, and Skynet and economic turmoil and universal basic income, right? It's there. There's a fear. There's a very tangible fear of that occurring. There's a very tangible fear of a lot of bad things happen. A lot of good. A lot of good. A lot of good things will happen. But alongside it, a lot of people will be left in the dust, right? A lot of people will be left in the dust. So, Day29, trying to get you not to be in the dust. That is so blinding. Okay, cool. So, what is the AI job apocalypse? And why does it need a solution? When, and not if, when companies decide it is now their turn to transition to a leaner operational state, When companies decide that, what you'll have is a lot of people out of jobs. And that's anything that AI can do. A lot of clerical jobs, if you're an admin and you write emails, good luck. Hopefully your boss can afford good AI software. Okay? A lot of things will be affected. Artistry will be affected. Creative jobs. And you're thinking, well, my job allows me to do this, so I don't think I'm going to be affected. Think again. Maybe AI will make your ability to do your job easier. And suddenly where your company needed to hire 4, they'll need 2, and then eventually just 1. And then in 10 years, that entire job is going to go anyway. So good luck with all that expertise. You see a lot of people trying to wean you off of this. Don't be afraid, AI is not that impressive and it's not going to be so invasive. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it would be something to fear if not for there existing a solution. Do you understand? Cool. Wonder if I can change the setting. We found some sort of alternative, and we're just gonna have to use it. Okay? This is important stuff. Doesn't matter what comes our way. Okay, so we're gonna get through this a little bit faster than I thought we would have. I don't know how long we have till this dies. It's already overheating. And so am I. Okay? Cool. AI is coming for your job. We've come to that conclusion. No matter who you are, you're at risk directly or indirectly. Companies will downsize. They'll have to, because everyone else will. There are companies that will have to compete, and because the market will get too competitive, and because of that, because things are so competitive, you either downsize or you die. We don't have banners anymore, but you either downsize or you die. That is the future. Okay? Downsize or die. So where does that leave you? Should you, and it's entirely possible that you could be unaffected. Admittedly. But why take that chance when that chance is 50%? 1 out of 2. Right? In the near future, in the very near future, I just realized I'm using this as my mic, so you heard everything we spoke about in there. Anyways, in the very near future, we will have 1 in 2 jobs disappearing. 1 in 2 disappearing. How does it go? So what do you do? What's the solution? We've spoken about this many times before, but I'm really honing in, so, let me be. Of course, just like when everybody started making their own websites, when computers became essentially world enders, and everybody lost their jobs because computers could do everything, and a lot of people needed to be replaced. And new jobs were created, of course. New jobs were created because people needed to take care of the computers, and if you learned how to use a computer, you'd have a useful skill that could be employable. But now we have a thing that it doesn't need much care. And there's companies filled with the smartest people in the world making sure it works right. If you pay enough money, boy, will it work right. And the solution to that is having a little bit of confidence, having a little bit of cojones, having a little bit of chutzpah. Do you get it? Do you understand? All right? What I'm saying right now is the second part of the title. Competitive content creation. What does that mean? You can be a content creator. It's not that hard. all you have to do is click record, click live, and voila, you're right here. But what does that mean competitively? Right? We're not casuals here, remember? We're grinding. So how do you grind this like a video game? How do you grind content creation like a video game? Quite simple. Quite simple. You have to have a problem, right? We've been over this. You need a problem, and you need to solve that problem, right? And you need to have an argument to why your solution to that problem is the best solution for so and so people, right? Once you have that, once you have that, what you end up getting is a whole lot of of evidence, a whole lot of news stories, a whole lot of worldly affairs, a whole lot of everything to pick and choose from to support your argument, right? And that could be anything, you know. You make an argument, you're probably gonna have some sort of idea on what the solution aspect of that is, right? And to make your argument, it's like English class, right? Point, evidence, explain. You have to explain your argument. So AI is going to take your job. Why? If you write emails, AI can write emails better and faster than you and for cheaper. And so you're going to be first one on the chopping board. You're the really visible piece of fat that's going to get cut off first. The smaller bits of fat that's hidden and they'll come later. They will. But right now, you're sticking out. You're sticking out like a sore thumb, right? So my knowledge of ChatGPT allows me to know what kind of job will go first. Because I know what it can do, and I know that there are people out there with specialized jobs that just do that one thing. I know people that just do that one thing, writing emails all day, right? And they get paid like above minimum wage, like decent salaries, and they write emails. Now imagine a software you have to pay $20 for, and it does exactly that, but you know, instead of having, 5 people writing emails, let's say at a health clinic, you've got one person making sure the software is just working right. So just like tech support, everybody's turning into an Indian, right? We're all going to be tech support. Did you get it? We're all going to be tech support. We're all going to be Indian scammers. And you don't even have to be from India anymore, right? You're gonna end up an Indian scammer. And that's a problem because scammers don't get a lot of trust. And you want trust. Trust is good, right? So if everybody's going to become an Indian scammer, everybody's going to become tech support, everybody who's working, what do? You have your problem, you have your solution, and there's a whole world of evidence out there if your solution is indeed a good solution, right? You'll have plenty of evidence, real world arguments to pick from. Issue is, not everyone is either aware or agrees, even if it might be a good argument, sound, real argument that works, and actually they should be worried about it. Not everybody is going to see that. So they're either not going to be aware, or they're going to be in denial, or a whole host of reasons why they might not even listen to you. Right? They could just not listen to you because they might be worried, oh, this guy's just trying to sell me something, or this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I know better. Like, okay, sure. But they're not going to listen to an argument just because it's true, right? They're not going to listen to you. It's the internet. Everybody's right. No one likes to listen. They're not going to listen to you unless you kick their ass, metaphorically, with your words, verbally, and you make them eat the pie. So, and we're nonviolent in this form. Wait till I power up. The issue then becomes, okay, let's say you're sitting down at your computer and you're writing your sales letter, you're writing your argument, you're writing your little website blurb, you're writing your whatever. You're writing your something, you're writing your email with ChatGPT, and you don't know what the hell to write, so you do your research, and this is what people are talking about, sure, yeah. And it's a long process. It's a long process. It takes a lot of time. A good sales letter takes a lot of time because there is a lot of research to do. People can spend months on a sales letter, a highly effective one at that. If you're good, it might take you less, which is, good for you. But for most people coming from their jobs, they're not going to be genius copywriters, right? Copywriting is a very, very difficult skill, and it takes a long time to learn it. It's not easy. You will struggle. It will take a long time. So what does it mean to be competitive? Competitive is finding an advantage to do better than the other guy, right? So people are making content, right? In a way, your sales letter is content, right? Your sales letter is content. But you're trying to sell a solution, right? And you may have a very valuable solution. But you have to know the reasons why people will listen. And of course, we spoke about this yesterday about, knowing your target audience. It's very important. 90% of this shit is research. So how do we get competitive with content creation? Well, what do you spend money on? Ads? Do you spend money on what? Big budget productions like Mr. Beast? No. Why would you do that? You're not Mr. Beast. We're trying to be competitive, not copycats. Right? How do you be competitive? We say everything that he does that gives him an advantage, we find an advantage without it and kick his ass. That's real competition. That's the kind of stuff that gets you excited about sports. You know? one-eyed UFC fighters wins the world championship. That's Bisping, right? So what is the competitive edge? You're not paying for ads. You're using AI, but so is everyone else. So what is the competition? And how does content creation fit into that? And I'll tell you a little about what I've been doing, right? So, going live every day, of course, that's a part of the process. I'm documenting it. I'm teaching as I go along. I'm creating a model. It's all coming together. Sure. But a big part of this process is the short form content. A big part of this process is the short form content. And that requires a lot of testing because attention just doesn't just come from anywhere. It needs to be taken. Attention needs to be taken. You have to like someone is scrolling their phone and you literally grab their head and you say like, watch this. Like, so your goal as a competitive content creator is to grab people by the hair, metaphorically, non-violently, verbally, and make them watch your content. You want it to feel like, you want them to feel like they need your content. How do you do that? How do you do that? You do that not by gaslighting them into thinking what they need. You do that, though that could be useful. I don't recommend it. Please don't do that. What you do is you find out what they actually need or what they think they need, right? If you know what they think they need, you can give them that, and then they will come to you for more. And you do that in short form content by testing your arguments, right? Testing your arguments. That's the beautiful thing about the algorithm, right? It's so good to test your arguments. Let's say you make 10 videos, right? And it's just you talking into the camera. And I've tried a bunch of these where it's just me telling a story or just talking about a specific point, a specific pain point, specific problem, specific argument. And it's just that one thing. And it's in the title and it's what I talk about. So when people watch it, that's the information that they're getting. That argument that I'm making is the thing that they're engaged with. Let's say you make 10 of these, 10 different points, right? What happens to the views, right? One of them is going to have 0 views. 2 of them is going to have about 3 views. About 4 of them will have maybe 20 views or in that range. And then one of them, I don't know if we got to 10 yet, but we're just going to pretend like we did. One of them gets to 500 or 1,000. And it's just a regular video of you talking into the camera, right? It's just a regular video of you talking into the camera. And the only difference between all these other videos is the topic you were talking about. And what that tells you, right, is that when you are trying to make an argument for your solution, that problem, that specific area, that specific piece of news, that specific piece of information is important to people, and more of them watched it, so the algorithm threw it to more people, right? You see how beautiful that is? You throw content out there for testing, and the algorithm will tell you what the zeitgeist is. Of course, there's zeitgeists out there, but you have your own arguments, right? You're creating a solution. You are recognizing a new problem. And that leads you to finding a market, right? If you can agitate a problem in a short, and the algorithm picks it up and decides, okay, people like this, I'm gonna throw it out. That is a good thing to chase, right? That means the the that means the algo is just it smiled upon you. You found something. You found a little golden nugget, right? And you chase that. You look for things surrounding that, topics, news stories, research, books, whatever. And you start chasing that. And then you start finding that maybe 2, 3 videos will now get 1,000 views. It's like, oh, okay. Then you start chasing those. And then you start getting very specific. And as you do that, obviously your editing gets better, and you get faster at making things. And your first video maybe didn't have any music, but your 50th definitely does. You know, and now you have little sound effects, little for little things. You got the captions down just right. You know, you've got like a format of doing it now that kind of really works. Like you can do it fast, and you're getting consistently a certain amount of views, right? And it's like you slowly find not only your market, but the kind of content that market enjoys. And you experiment not just with um, the content itself, or the topic itself, but how little changes in your editing, the hook, and then you get into kind of the writing aspects of it, and you slowly, incrementally increase the quality of your work, but you know, you have turned virality into a step ladder. And suddenly it's doable. Suddenly it's feasible. And that's what I've spent the last 28, 29 days realizing. And content creation is no longer a mystery, a gamble. It is now a step ladder. It's like Game of Thrones. Content is a ladder. Content is a ladder. Do you get it? So if you're worried about losing your job, right? If you think you're not going to survive this AI influx, get on this, right? Get on this. Start testing. Start going live. And eventually it'll work out. It is a game of attrition, right? The numbers game. Just keep playing with the numbers, and eventually you find the right one, right? And it's like you keep going in the direction of bettering slowly using the metrics at your disposal, and you're just on like a path upwards. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. You should do it. I recommend it before it's too late. Eventually, when all this is complete, you know, who knows if this information will be available. Well, that's all for me today. I dropped some hot wisdom, and hope you learned something. So be good, do good things, and I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, and subscribe so good things happen.